Why this story matters. While challenges remain, stories like this demonstrate that constructive action can make a real difference. Quick summary: this story highlights recent developments related to climate environment, showing how constructive action can lead to meaningful results. Even at a young age, Jonathan Schreiber found that harnessing the power of wind was something of a breeze. Encouraged by his DIY-loving grandfather, the Austrian teenager was always playing around with scrap metal, trying to build tools. At 14, he began studying a book on how to build a wind turbine from old car parts. I was fascinated by how you could build things yourself and actually create your own energy, says Schreiber. So Schreiber took a flight. Then he took a boat. And when he finally arrived, he met Hugh Pigott, who had been working on plans for DIY wind turbines since the 1970s. Despite Pigott being 30 years older, the unlikely duo hit it off over their shared passion for invention, and Schreiber extended his stay from 5 days to a month. Would you like to read more good news about climate, environment, renewable energy, wind energy, DIY, Austria, and Scotland? Everyone in Scoraig was confident in their own ability to do things themselves, explained Schreiber. Being so remote, they had to. On his return home, Schreiber wanted to spread the word. The next year, he held his first wind turbine building workshop, founding Pure Self-Made, a non-profit to teach people how to make their own wind turbines from scratch. In the context of volatile energy prices, the pressing need to shift to renewable power, the limits of centralized electricity systems, and the risks of relying on foreign supply chains, there's growing demand for communities to become energy self-sufficient. Until now, so-called small wind has been a relatively overlooked local provider. But for Schreiber, the DIY approach brings with it a level of reassurance and freedom. Instead of big industry, I prefer the more grassroots way, he says. I like the idea of decentralization. With a lot of chaos in the world, it's better to be self-sufficient, to have a reliable energy system at home. A turbine in progress at a Pure Self-Made workshop in Vienna. Credit: Pure Self-Made, according to the International Energy Agency, an intergovernmental organization, community-based energy projects show clear benefits across the globe by deploying renewable technologies, improving efficiency, supporting reliable power supply, reducing bills and generating local jobs, as well as establishing more inclusive, equitable and resilient energy systems. Distributed energy is the way to go, whether that is on a community level or the of individuals, says engineering professor Ken Visser, an aerodynamics and small wind turbine specialist at the University of Calvin, Michigan. But while solar energy is soaring, not all communities can benefit from it. During winter in Northern Europe, for example, some areas only receive a few hours of sunlight a day, if at all. And although many may think of wind turbines as something only for big industry, with the classic image of huge turbines dotting hillsides, Pure Self-Made is showing that wind power can work on a household scale too. Last summer, Mitchell, a 65-year-old who lives in Sweden, attended one of the courses in northern Germany, driving there by motorbikes. A former electronics technician, he was keen to explore the possibility of building a turbine at his home, where his solar panels are often hindered by a lack of sun or indeed snow covering them. The experience was absolutely amazing, says Mitchell, who was one of about 20 attendees from several European countries at the 4-day course. It's very interesting. The costs are low. It's handmade. You don't need to buy from a foreign company. I hope to build one in the future. To reach an even wider public, Pure Self-Made is developing a how-to book that will feature designs for turbines from 600W to about 3kW. Pure Self-Made says one of the main challenges is just convincing people that they will actually be able to make a small turbine. Credit: Pure Self-Made has also begun selling some pre-manufactured parts for an easy build, with the eventual goal of providing everything needed. While the energy transition has been plagued with issues over sourcing components, with the EV industry causing social and environmental issues across the world, the supply chain for these turbines is as transparent as it gets. Most parts can be bought at a hardware store, and the turbine rotor blades are made from wood which can be grown locally. It's admirable what they are doing, quite frankly, says Visser, especially using local parts to avoid all the overheads. Wood is a renewable resource, it decomposes naturally. I think it's wonderful on a whole bunch of levels. Wind can also work in conjunction with solar, he adds. The sun doesn't shine at night, but the wind does blow. And in winter, the sun is lower in the sky, reducing yields. The two can work together in the right circumstances. Yet Visser, who ran his own small turbine company between 2015 and 2025 until it went bust, warns that reducing cost is the major challenge. His design had a unique concept using ducted blades wrapping a duct around the rotor to increase the performance. but there weren't enough sales to keep the company afloat. The capital investment is huge for an individual, he says. How can we make small wind turbines affordable? At the time Visser was developing his product, a turbine for an average home in the US cost around $80,000, he says. His team managed to reduce it to around $15,000-$17,000 for a 3.5 kW turbine, but pure self-made models are significantly cheaper. A 2.2 meter diameter turbine with an output of 70-1 W, for example, costs around 540, including all materials required. Over the years, Schreiber has improved the generator, magnets, turbine sizes, and geometries, and he says there's still room for improvement to make it easier and quicker.